silent now. The sisters walked as one toward the little farm on the edge of town, a town that had yet to produce much of anything, except a handful of hopeful businesses and a weekly mail delivery. Their farm had produced even less. A dozen scrawny chickens pecked the ground behind their one-room cabin. The Guernsey cow, udder full and dangling, stood beneath a shade tree and mooed hopefully at their approach. Here, at least, was something to be thankful for. Chickens and a cow bartered from a man returning to his native Virginia after his wife died of childbirth last winter, put food on the table. The woman's grave and that of her child, like Papa's, testified to the harshness of this new territory. "I'll gather the eggs and make custard," Savannah said with forced enthusiasm. "Won't that make a grand breakfast?" What she wasn't saying was that they had little else to eat but eggs and milk until the early garden began to produce, and no money remained for provisions to tide them over until that happened. Willa was loath to ask the mercantile owners for more credit. Hank Fleming knew as well as she that the Malone sisters had little in the way of repayment. In an effort to encourage her sunny sister, though discouragement rode her own shoulders, Willa nodded, her tone kind, if solemn. "You make good custard, Savannah. I'll get Brownie milked." Worrying was not Savannah's job. "Would you rather have biscuits and eggs? Or pancakes topped with Brownie's butter and a whip of fresh cream?" Mercy shook her head, her smile tender. "Our Michelangelo at the stove." "Oh, not me," Savannah said with all modesty. "Aunt Frances. She was a true artist in the kitchen." More than once, Willa wished her youngest sister had stayed in St. Louis. Though aging and not in the best of health themselves, the Godley aunt and uncle had welcomed Savannah while she'd attended Miss Pennington's school for young ladies. Theirs was a much better situation than rugged, dangerous Oklahoma territory for a delicate young woman. Savannah's crippled leg and frail disposition were a constant concern to her sisters. "You should go back to St. Louis. Your Aunt Frances would welcome your company." Frances had been especially fond of Savannah's mother, Papa's third wife, and had delighted in sharing her home with her adored niece's child. Even now, Frances wrote frequent letters urging Savannah to come home. Willa wished she would. Savannah, lagging behind from the brisk walk, waved away the comment. "No, Willa, I do not wish to return to St. Louis. I am perfectly content here with my dear sisters." Willa slowed her steps to allow the now limping Savannah to catch up. Suddenly, she heard the pound of feet on packed earth. "Miss Mercy!" All three women whirled at the shout. Aidan O'Shea, the tow-headed son of the livery owner, raced across the bare front yard and huffed to a stop 3 feet away. Panting, hands to his threadbare knees, the sprightly child motioned behind him toward the clapboard town. "Miss Mercy, come quick. Some feller's been shot." Green eyes intense, Mercy's hand went to her heart. "Shot? Where? Let me retrieve my bag." Willa touched her sister's shoulder. "Go with Aidan. I'll fetch your gear." "In the cupboard. Bring my gunshot kit as well." Mercy whipped toward the boy. "Where have they taken him?" "The saloon. Pa said to hurry." Aidan's eyes were wide and worried. He glanced toward town and then back to Mercy. "The fella's bleeding bad. I saw him come riding in. He fell off his horse right smack in the middle of the street." "No time to waste, then." With a jerk of her chin toward the buildings in the near distance, Mercy hiked her skirts to the tops of her boots. Message delivered, the young lad spun on his heels and ran, bare feet eating up the dirt path. "Take Jasper," Willa said. The draft horse was docile enough to ride bareback and easy to catch. In an answering